Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on our Team Relationship Manager webinar. My name is Ashley Morgan. I am with the training team from the home office, and I am so excited about today's webinar. We have some really wonderful speakers on here from the home office and a leader to really give you guys more information and get into the nitty-gritty of what is the TRM and how to use it with your business. So today's webinar, we've got Jen Carlson. She's an Executive Vice President Sales Leader. This adorable picture is of her husband, and her daughter Parker, who recently turned 1 year old. Her mom, June, is actually an SESL on her team. And from what I understand, Jen actually loves the TRM reports because she has a really fastly growing team in Montana, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while she actually lives in North Carolina. So she really maximizes these reports to help support her team members in other states. And just a fun fact about Jen, and Jen, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you recently learned how to play tennis and joined a league too. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's so fun. I love it.
That is so awesome. Well, thanks for being on today. And then also we have from the home office, we have Richard White. He is an IT business analyst for us. And we've got Noua Imberman, who supports the IT department in many different ways. So hi, Richard and Noua.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
All right, let's get started, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Ashley. And again, Richard and I are so excited to be here with Jen as well. I think Jen has been such a great partner through all of this with us as far as, helping us with the TRM, and then as well as, being a great advocate through the last SESL Academy class with us. And so we just found almost like a partnership with the TRM with Jen. So we're really excited to get you guys going again with Team Relationship Manager. As you guys recall, all of the business reports that we have in your back office all live in different places. And so now we've tried to make Team Relationship Manager, or what we call it short name TRM, in one place. So that way it's easy and accessible and also flexible for you to work your Norwex business. Right there, it tells us that all of our existing reports are now in one place, including TRM reports and TRM that are mobile responsive. That's a key thing. As you guys probably are familiarized, when you go into team genealogy, especially if you're working growing a team, it's not as responsive if you go to team genealogy to do this. And so TRM is very mobile responsive, and we're hearing a lot of positive response about how mobile responsive it is. So please don't hesitate to use this on your smart devices. In addition to that, the Business Builder bonus that we launched earlier this year is added to the Success Builder, so that way you can keep track of how you're doing month to date to, as you're working through your business for that. And that's been a huge feature that we're hearing from a lot of the achievers, how great it is, how awesome it is. And so that way they can see how they're trending. In addition to that, we have a new coach list. That is a feature that we'll talk about here shortly. We're going to rave about how awesome it is, and something that you can actually keep an eye on yourself as well too. In addition to that, we have new reports that we'll go through as well. And then there's a new commission statement and a new upline view, and the ability to view incentive tracker for not just yourself, but also for your team, all easily with just a tap if you're using on your mobile device and a click on your desktop. So to start us off, we're going to actually show you guys real quickly how the TRM reports is displayed when you go back into your back office. So we don't have a visual for this one, but it's really easy to find TRM first of all. So when you open up your consultant office, you'll see an icon on the top of your dashboard, and then also it lives under the tab for team, and then right as soon as you click over team, there's a sub-tab that says TRM, Team Relationship Manager. Once you do that, it'll land you here to the landing page. And then if you want to start sorting through your reports, you click on that drop-down button right there, and you'll see all the nice reports that are available for you here. We're going to go through each of these fields real quickly so that way you guys can see what they are. So obviously, this is your month and year filter. The next one is going to be your activity view drop down. And then you'll also be able to slice and dice your reports by looking at the statuses of your consultants in your team, as well as career levels. If you're looking for anyone on your team that may happen to be a team coordinator, if you're wanting to check your team members that are all team coordinators for the month, click on the team coordinator selection, and you'll be able to find that filter work for you that way as well too. And then, of course, if you're looking to narrow down your search, it's always important to add a from and to date there, so that way you can narrow down your reports a little bit more. And of course, last but not least, the most important button there is in TRM is the apply button. You can go ahead and enter all the information there in those fields, but it won't do any good if you don't click on the apply button. So make sure you guys click the apply button for your reports to drop down for you. And of course, we also wanted to share with you guys, sometimes we don't know what those particular buttons or icons are for, so we put an informational tooltip there for you. So if you happen to hover over it or click on it, you'll see all the different icons there to help give you an idea what we're trying to indicate with those icons. And we thought that we wanted to give you, we thought that it was best to kind of give you guys how easy it is to pull reports on TRM. It's an easy 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And so just like I just went through quickly on those fields, all you have to do is select your report, select the month that you want to look at, select the view, and normally we have it defaulted to activity view, which sufficiently and mostly works in most of your searches that you're looking for. And then, of course, click the apply button. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. And we wanted to, another thing that we talked about was, we found out that especially if you're trying to grow a team or you're working on growing a team, we also realized how important it is to recognize certain categories of consultants in your group. For example, we hear a lot from our leaders, but we want to recognize their top recruiters, or we want to recognize the top sellers. And so we wanted to show you again a few examples of how you can go about doing that. And so for this example, we're wanting to show you how you can recognize your top recruiters. So obviously you select the top recruiters, select the month, keep it in activity view, 1, 2, 3, and step 4 is to click the apply button. And once you do that, the example of what that report will look like is on this next slide. And as soon as you get that there's a column that talks about new recruits. And there you can find it. There you can find it where you could sort it, in ascending or descending view. So.
Yes. I'm
Jen,
going to.
Something to add?
Yeah, is it okay if I happen to talk a little bit about the
Please
recruiters
do.
page?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Jen.
So the top recruiters and top sales is something that's so valuable to our teams. And honestly, you guys, this is the easiest way that we as leaders, as consultants, can connect with everybody else that's on our team. So I just wanted to give you a couple of ideas of different ways that you can use these in your business on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. So for the top recruiters, this is going to be great for Facebook recognition. And for anybody who has teams, I would highly recommend to start doing the recognition in your Facebook groups, because again, it's the easiest way to connect with your teams. So so for me, I always do the top recruiters from my team, and then I'm also sending out mail to people. So I'm sending out snail mail, right? I put it in the post office or put it in the mailbox and it gets sent out. And people are so appreciative of hearing those little notes to understand where they are and recognize the fact that I'm seeing what they're doing. So also, you guys, if you don't have time for that, just send a quick text or Facebook message or even an email letting them know, hey, I saw that you added one person. That's so great. Congratulations. And it just, doing that little bit will go a long way. Also, for the top recruiters, I love this because we get to recognize the BBB. So once somebody's a sales leader in your team, you get to let them know and call them out for unlocking either the 3% BBB or the 6% BBB. And that also gives you a chance to explain what that is and how you can take advantage of it and how it's going to propel your business forward.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jen. And actually, Ashley, if you could go back real quickly, you know, Jen talked about a really good point there about, you know, her using snail mail. And so, Richard, I think there's something that we probably need to mention here about this other feature that we have there that's probably not quite highlighted here.
Right. The box alongside the Go button there is a drop down to allow you to email people directly from here. So you can drop down, click that for a drop down. You click the box at the far left next to the person that you want to email or the group that you want to email, and then you can set up a group email doing that.
Awesome. Thanks, Richard.
Very good. And you can recognize top sellers similarly. These are two new reports that are not available in Team Genealogy that are available in TRM. So top sellers, select the report, the month you want to recognize and the view, and then again click apply because it doesn't work until you click apply. And it will show those. You will, as the leader of this group, show up at the top of the list whether you are in the top sellers or not. And so it sets the sequence off slightly at the very first, but know that the ones following that are in sequence.
Yep, and I just want to add something here too. Again, top sales, this is going to be great Facebook recognition. Again, you're connecting with your team. So make sure you are recognizing the people who are working the business and send them a note, send them a card, send them a text, an email, anything. One thing that we do here in North Carolina, it's called a 4,000 club. And so for people on my team, once they hit 4,000 or more, I take them out for appetizers, which is just kind of a fun little thing to do, and congratulate them on their huge successes of that previous month.
Oh, that's awesome, Jen.
Good idea. Okay, so we wanted to show how you can utilize the search function in this. So in order to get enough people, we're doing this through the commissionable downline through level 2 report list. So we've clicked that to make our selection. Then we go to the next one. And then just to use a name to find one, if we only know the first name of this consultant, we put in Heather. And this returns a list of everyone in the downline that's named Heather. And it does highlight if they're in their first 90 days with the little gold star. And then you've got it.
So we had said that we wanted to talk a little bit about the different types of view options in the filter here. And so earlier we said that it's defaulted to the activity view, but we also wanted to bring out the different types of view, such as sales, recruit, and profile. So as we go through them quickly here, it'll give you an idea of the type of different columns that you're going to see as you apply this filter. So in the activity view, basically you're getting pretty much I almost want to say the meat and potatoes of that particular consultant they're looking at, their meat and potatoes of what they're doing in general. If you'll go to the next slide, so when you do this, let's say for example you're looking at your personal group and you're looking at the activity view, you're getting a good chunk of the name of your consultant, their title, their status currently for, let's say, the month of March, if you happen to be looking in March, their personal sales, and then of course, their group sales with TC, new recruits, and the parties that they've held and parties that's scheduled, along with their BBB. And so if that's the activity view, it's basically what we kind of are saying that, this is what they're doing so far that month or this month. So this kind of gives you a nice overview of that particular consultant's activity. On the next slide, let's say if you want to have a view of their sales. At the sales view filter, you get to see their personal sales, their recruit sales, their TC recruit sales, along with anything that's related in their sales. In addition to that, in team genealogy, you also got the view of the 3, 6, and 12-month sales. So we broke that down as in 3 separate columns here for you, so you don't miss out of it from team genealogy. So that way you're not always having to flip back. What you see in team genealogy is also here in TRM as well under the sales view columns. And of course, the business builder cells is there, and so that's a key thing that is not in team genealogy. This business builder will only be in team TRM. On the next view, it's the recruit view columns, and as you could see, actually, Richard, if you want to talk about this one.
So we're looking at consultants in your personal group and the recruit view. So these columns are a little bit mixed, compacted in order to get them all on here. But what it shows is the consultant's name, the personal recruit counts for engaged, active, and inactive. And the next one is commissionable downline for engaged, active, and inactive. It counts the business builder recruits for this period, the qualified personal recruits in this period, and any promotions to TC from your personal recruits. It counts those, and then group recruits and engaged, active, and inactive. Those are important pieces for to maintain your title or to advance at a title in order to know the engaged or active at the personal and in the commissionable downline counts.
So Richard, when I go into my TRM, for example, and under my personal recruit, I have a consultant that would show 3-3-1. That's telling me I have 3 engaged, 3 active, and 1 inactive.
Correct.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And then the last view is the profile view column, and that pretty much kind of gives you the information that you have for that consultant as far as their start date, their state, where they're at, and then what culture they signed up in the starter kit, along with the, who their recruiter is and their breakaway leader. So now we're really going to get into TRM here at this point. Again, when you land into your TRM, you're going to see yourself and your name along with your current career title in the upper left-hand corner. But across to the right, you'll see all of these nice and icons that's going to, what I call them quick widget almost, where you click on it and you'll find all the information that's related to you in your business with these icons. So as you guys remember earlier when we started this, we said that all of these reports are, all across the consultant office. Well, we put that all here for you to find the information for you. So, for example, your team status, your team dates, the data, your Fresh Start tracker, your Success Builder, your business reports, along with your upline, incentive tracker, and commission statement. I just think that is just a wonderful functions that we have added to TRM, so that way you're not having to go and fish for all of this information across the consultant office. And so currently right now is defaulted to your coach list. So let's say if you have someone on your coach list that you're watching, that's what's going to display. Now, a key thing to remember, let's say you have not created your coach list yet. Please expect that your page will be blank towards the bottom part until you start adding people to your coach list. So don't be alarmed when you go into your TRM landing page and you don't see any information there. It's because you haven't added anyone to your coach list, so that's why there's no information there. I think we've when we started this, we found that it was a little bit confusing because we thought that TRM wasn't working, but it was really because we haven't created our own coach list to see anyone down there. So it's not a bad thing either.
So to start your coach list, go to your personal group. Back up one time, please, Ashley. Go to your personal group in the drop down where it says coach list now. Go to your personal group and at least select yourself so that you'll show up when it lands there. So the first one you'll see is you, and add anyone else that you might be trying to track or to coach or to keep up with for that period or for coming periods. Thank you.
And how you add it is you just click on the little star.
That's right. That's right. And so if the gold star is filled in, then they are on your coach list. If it's not filled in, then you don't have them on your coach list. Thanks for pointing that out, Jen. So the next few slides, we're actually going to go through some reports that we found that are mostly used by our consultants. We here at Norwex love to receive suggestions, feedback from all of you, and so that's the only way we can make these type of functionalities inside the consultant office more efficient and effective for you all. So we realized that these next couple of reports that we're going to show you are the most used type reports that will help you gain traction into your Norwex business, as well as be in the know of what's happening in your Norwex business. So the first report here, and Jen, I'm going to ask you to jump in at any time to talk about these reports with us. But the first report we're going to talk about here is your business report. As you could tell, once you go into, let's say you click on that quick link to go to your business report, the very first page is going to display or some graph, a pie chart, if you will, here. And some of the important information on this business report is your personal sales, your personal recruit that's engaged, your personal recruits that are active, your TC recruit sales, along with your commissionable downline engaged and active, and then your group sales with TC. Those vital information from what we've heard here in the past has been really important for you as a consultant to need to be in the know. Now, let's say if you want to open this report and bring it out a little bit more, you'll click the expand button there, the expand icon there. Jen, did you have something to add, please?
Yeah, so I want to spend a couple of minutes on this report because I think that to somebody who doesn't look at this, it's a little bit overwhelming with information, and it's almost like information overload. So, so for me, when I have information overload, I just kind of shut down and then I don't look at it. So I really want to empower everybody to be able to use this report to move their business forward. So I think that this report right here, the business report, is just a great snapshot of your current business. So the first thing, like pretty much in the morning, I always look at this just to kind of see where I am. And personal sales is what you're always going to be looking at because you know, our number one focus as a consultant is our personal sales. So if your sales are tracking to where you want them to be, or if they're not, then you know you're going to want to start there. The other thing that I like on this report is that, you know, you can see your active team members. And so just know at the beginning of the month, your numbers are going to drop. And when you are going for promotion, this is where you're going to look at your engaged numbers to see exactly where you are. So Noah talked a little bit about the group volume, and when you become a sales leader, you get a group volume. So everybody if you're wondering what does group volume mean, what it is everybody in your organization up until the point of a sales leader. So let's say that I have a team coordinator on my team, and then they've got a couple of consultants as well. Well, they're all a part of my group, and really watching your group level, you guys, and your TC recruit volume. That's really going to determine the health of your organization. And it's just such a key area to be focusing on. So just kind of make it a habit to be looking at that, at your group sales, and also your group sales with team coordinators. So another thing is, you know, This is going to be, your group is going to be growing by consistently recruiting and building leaders. So I just want you to know that that's how you're going to build your group volume. And also just magic happens in your group. So when your group is strong, it's going to be trickling down into your full organization and the different ways. So if you're wondering, okay, how do I grow my group? How you're going to grow your group volume and your group sales is through adding new team members, different coaching calls with team members on your team, and then promoting sales leaders and team coordinators within your group. So I think that's really key. Just one other a couple of things that I wanted to just touch on is how do you determine who to work with within your group? Because as a leader, you're going to want to reach out to the different people on your team that are doing well, and this is this TRM. You guys, this is what you get to use to be able to figure that out. So anybody who's qualifying quick, you can reach out to them, keep that momentum going strong. And also in the top sales that we were talking about, when people are in your top sales, that means that they're doing parties and they're excited about the business. So those are the people that you're going to want to work with. So I would encourage you guys just to pick 3 or 5 people who are really rocking and just reach out and ask if they want to start coaching with you and reach that first level of leadership. To be able to do it. And the last thing that I'll end with on this slide here is I want you to believe in them before they believe in themselves. And really, it's a game changer when you do that. And when you tell them that I see something in you, you're doing so amazing. Would you want to work with me? That's going to mean the world to them. So that's kind of my quick summary of this business report.
That's awesome, Jen. That's great insights, especially from a leader perspective about it as well, too. So on the next slide, Ashley.
Okay, on this one, it's an expanded view of the business report to give you more than 1 month. This view is not available on the mobile because it's so wide. It has so many months in it. But it gives you a graphical view of what's going on. And it tells you how many entries you can view there, and it has basically those same categories: the career title, paid title, sales, the personal recruits, the personal engaged and active, and the other categories that we had on the previous one. It just gives you a broader view of it, so you can view a year's worth of information on someone or on yourself.
So I use the business export when I'm doing coaching calls, and it's really great because again, it's going to give you a quick snapshot of what that person is doing within their world. So I love it to understand what their business looks like. So where are they? What are their strengths? And then what skills do I need to help them develop? And also just, this is great because we get to meet people where they're at, and we get to help work with them to develop their skills in this business. So everything in this business is a skill set, whether it's booking parties, host coaching, recruiting, or building leaders. So, this is going to help you provide a little insight to see where their strengths are and then what you can help them with.
Oh, I was making a note, I'm sorry. So to look at the people that are new on your team, that means new in the last 90 days. So they're still in their qualified or in the period where they can become a qualified personal recruit. You select this report from the drop-down box. And fill in the month you want and which view, and click apply. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I missed one here. We wanted to show, back up one time, please. So we've added a date here to show the dates of who we want to view here. So we limited this to February 1st through March 1st. We want to see just those people in their first 90 days that were from between February and March. Okay. So now we've got that list that we can look at and see how they're doing on this, and follow up with them if we find someone that we can coach into being a qualified personal recruiter, just to help them through their fresh start, their final days of fresh start.
And I think this is another great area, especially for this month, especially because we have got Join for free. So you get to see how many people are being added to your team. And then also what I do is I send out a welcome email to everybody, just letting them know who I am. And I'm excited to, I'm excited for them to be on the team and some areas where they can start focusing in. And this is a really good way to be able to do that on a weekly basis, to be able to capture and get that welcome email out to everybody.
And so on this one right here, we wanted to also just let you know that the personal new report is still there. You'll find that in the old team, I call it old, but Team Genealogy has this report there. But guess what, guys? It's here in TRM as well too. So shift over to TRM and you'll find these reports here as well. So as we talked about the commissionable new, well, this is also good for you as well too, to check on your own personal new recruits as well. So when we do this, you'll go down to the report, click on personal new, identify which month you like to look at, and then click the apply filter. And when you do this, you can also tap into, once the report comes up, you can also tap into their success builder. As you can see, we've circled the success builder icons here, so that way you can go back into, and let's say we're wanting to look at Tiffany Blue here, we could click on that blue diamond icon, which takes us to Tiffany Success Builder, and we could take a look at all the how she's doing for the month in her Success Builder report. Jen, did you have something to add to this one as well too?
Yes, on the next slide I'll add a comment.
Awesome. So here's a view of the Success Builder. And so as you can see here in this example, this consultant actually is, you're looking at yourself on this one, because that's the only way you'll know that you're looking at anyone else's Success Builder is that you will not see their 3 and 6% over there, but you yourself, you will find that on you to the far right over there in the 3 and 6 column. So, but in any case, though, you still see the Success Builder as is that you see previously, but in TRM, you're going to find this Business Builder added columns over there, and that's what makes the TRM so effective, having the Success Builder information displayed there on that report. So you're not going to miss anything out of the Success Builder if you don't use, if you go into TRM, you just need to use it there in the TRM area.
Yes, so this is another report that you want to be looking at on a regular basis, because you're going to see where you're tracking. So as a consultant, you get to see what level that you currently are, and if you are, when you become a leader, you get to see your leadership commission. When you become red jacket or above it, you get to see your car bonus, and then the BBB, that 3% or 6%. So I just want to make sure that, and this is great too, because if your organization is growing fast, you can see how much money that you'll be adding on to your commission check once you promote to that next level. So that's always a good thing for this. So it's good for us personally to understand what this report looks like and what all the numbers mean, but it's also really important to share this with your leaders and your emerging leaders that are on your team, because then that gives them the tools to be able to use this and understand what everything means. And so I just think it's our job to make sure that everybody on our team knows what's out there and what they can potentially be earning.
We've marked most of the new reports with a dash and a new on them, so that to highlight that they are new reports for us. Top sellers is one. Top recruiters is one also, but I don't think there's a new one yet. But there are other ones there that are new. My breakaway leaders is a new report. So let's go to the next slide then. So now we're looking at top sellers based on personal sales. And again, we're looking at the Norwex consultant at the very top is in this list out of order because she is the leader of this group. So she ends up at the top every time. the ones following that are in descending sequence by sales for that month.
And this goes back to, what we were talking about, these are the most used reports that our consultants are using today. And so we wanted to highlight how these reports work so that way you all have some sort of reference on how to utilize this when you go into your TRM for personal sales, top sellers, top recruiters. Yeah, awesome. And same thing here, top recruiters, find the top recruiter report in the drop down, find the month that you're looking for and apply, and that report will look something like this. Of course, you obviously want to sort it accordingly, but we wanted to make a mention again, just like Richard said, the consultant did not recruit, they will not display on this report, and that includes the leader. So, for example, if you're the leader and you didn't recruit, you will not come up on this report. So, again, another great report to look at on recognizing top recruiters on your team.
Yep, and you don't have to do just once a month. You could look at this on a weekly basis and see people that typically have not added team members, and all of a sudden they're starting to add team members. Again, it's a great way to touch base with somebody, just to say, hey, great job, I saw that you added a new team member. I just wanted to reach out and say congratulations.
Exactly. Or also, send that email that Richard was talking about, clicking on that box over there and send them a quick note that way as well too. So yep. Again, and great functions across TRM on using these reports. Your coaching list. I think we've talked about this a little bit already. And again, your coaching list is where let's say, for example, you want to keep an eye on that new team member that has joined your team, or someone that you're helping out, on their next party, something to that effect. Why you want to have a list of consultants that you want to keep coaching, and maybe even just keeping an eye on to see how they're doing, or maybe you want to keep an eye on how successful they've been doing, and like to Jen's point, making sure that you're keeping those touch points and with them as well in your downline or personal group. So your coach list is a very key report for you to keep an eye on, and you can change this out at any time. As soon as let's say, for example, Tiffany Blue there has been just rocking and rolling, and you're like, she is great to soar on her own. You can go ahead and uncheck, or not uncheck, but click on that star, right? And in that star becomes blank, and Tiffany Blue is gone from your coach list. So this coach list is never ending. However many you want to keep on your list, you can keep them, however small or little. So this is a great report to keep on hand when you're using TRM.
So I'm just going to share a few things on how I use this. And I wasn't using this coach list at first. And then when I started to use it, I was like, how do I live without this? Because it takes so much less time to be able to go in here and just have access to everybody that you want to look at. So I highly recommend anybody who's not using it to be using it. But some of the reasons how I use it is I put all of my leaders on here. So anybody who I want to be able to quick have when I'm talking to them, I want to have access to their information. I'm putting them on this coaching list so I can quick hit their business page, or I can look at different reports that I want to be with them on. Also, I'm putting anybody in their first 90 days on this list, because again, it's an easy way for me to be able to pull people up that I'm looking at. And then the last what I do put on here are people that I'm actually doing coaching calls with. So again, I'm able to bring up their information, look at it, to meet them where they're at. So everything is very easy and accessible.
Nice, great advice there, Jen. Thank you.
And to check and see. Every month you need to check on potential team coordinators to find out who is tracking towards promotion to team coordinator. So you can do that with this report and click apply. And again, you can check the success builder for those people that you've selected here. Check any one of them there and see how they're doing towards the team coordinator requirements.
And when you see somebody's about to promote to team coordinator, I would highly recommend to reach out to them either through that email function or sending a text message or Facebook message, because a lot of times people have no idea what the first level of leadership even is. So if you just reach out and you say, hey, you are so close to promoting to team coordinator, I know you can do it, you know, and then a lot of times they'll come back and say, oh, I didn't even know what that meant. So having, again, that little encouragement and reaching out to people goes a long way.
The same holds true for potential sales leaders as well. You can do the same report. So checking regularly for potential team coordinators and sales leaders. Check the success builder and the incentive tracker.
The one thing I love about the incentive tracker is that we get to see where we are with our goals for the trip to Maui, but you can also look to see where your team members are in relationship to how quick they're going to be able to qualify for that trip to Maui. So just know that you can look at it for both yourself and for other team members, which I think is really cool.
So here also, it's good to also know anyone on your team that are going to go inactive or go into dormant status and remove status for the month. Those reports are here as well too. So again, reports that you're familiar in seeing previously in team genealogy, you can get them here in TRM as well. So I just like to point that out that, you know, you're not missing anything in TRM. So, you know, I encourage you all to go to TRM and utilize these reports, such as these that we've been talking about and including this as well. So all of this information is there. And of course, when you select on that particular top report and looking at, you know, your current month to date information, click the apply button and you'll see the list drop down below there, as you've been seeing through all these other examples as well too.
Yep, and when you start to manage that on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, what you're going to find is that, you know, once you do get into the larger leadership levels, that you're able to easily maintain your status, because people don't even realize they're about to go inactive or dormant or be removed. So what I find is that people like to have that reminder. So for me, for the about to go dormant and about to be removed, I send them a catalog every single month just to say, hey, here's the new catalog. And then I also offer a little incentive for when they do get engaged for that month.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we wanted to end our webinar with some key points from Jen. Jen has been, again, a great advocate for us and working with us along with TRM and how she uses TRM for her business. And so again, we hope that in this webinar, you guys were able to see how easy it is to use all the key reports through TRM, along with all the different functionalities that is available, how flexible these reports are for you to use, whether you're on a desktop or on your mobile device. But we like to end this with some words from Jen on these reports and how she uses them. And then after Jen gives us her recap, we'll end it with some Q&A from Ashley.
Yep. So really, I just wanted to kind of summarize all the different reports that we were looking at. So your business report, that's going to be where your sales are, your group sales, everything. And so that just get into a habit of looking at on a regular basis. Use the business expanded view for coaching calls. Your commissionable new. So this is going to be all of your consultants in their first 90 days. Use it to watch for the fresh start tracker, making sure everybody's hitting their fresh start steps. The personal new. So this is going to be your personal consultants in their first 90 days. So again, that fresh start tracker. The success builder. So that's understanding what your business looks like and then where it can go. Your top sellers and recruiters, this is a great way to be able to connect with your team and recognize people who are working their business and adding new team members. It's such an easy way to connect and recognize, and everybody loves recognition. So that's it's just a fun way to get people excited. your potential team coordinator and sales leaders. You, like I just mentioned, you want to be able to start reaching out to everybody on this list and just give them some encouragement, be excited for them, and then they're going to be able to hit those different leadership levels. And then on a monthly basis, just start looking at your about to go inactive, about to go dormant, and about to be removed list, and start managing those on a monthly basis. And you will be so surprised at how many people will tell you, thank you so much for letting me know. I had no idea. And then they're going to get that order in.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Jen, Noah, and Richard. All of that was amazing information, a boatload of information. And so I know one of the questions we're going to see in a second is, will this be available after our webinar? And yes, if you registered, you should get an email with the webinar in it. It'll also be on the consultant office under training, and go to get to know your consultant office. So it'll be posted there shortly, by the end of the week. My goal is to get it up tomorrow for everyone. So now we're going to open the floor for some questions. Let me go through them really quick. We have quite a few, and if we don't get to answer all of the questions today, we will save the question log and try to get them all answered for you guys. So one of the questions is, these reports, do they give information automatically for my whole downline at all levels? Noah or Richard, could y'all take that one?
They do to your commissionable downline until we reach VPSL. At VPSL, you can see your complete downline, and that at VPSL and above.
Okay. Here's another one. Looking at the top recruiter report as an example, how far down will the reports go? The entire team or to the commissionable downline?
It does your commissionable downline again, as I just explained a while ago. It does the top 50 people in that.
Okay. I think there maybe is a few questions about clarifying where can you see the emails that are sent from here. So Richard, you kind of touched on how to send emails. Can you just go over that a little bit more? Is there a way to track and see what emails you have sent?
I don't believe there is.
At this time, there isn't. So that's actually a suggestion that we're working towards. This isn't the first time we've heard that, and so we are trying to figure out a way on how we can possibly develop to do that. So thank you for bringing that question up.
Awesome. When it comes to showing the team members' mailing addresses, oftentimes I guess they have different shipping addresses versus their mailing address. Do you know which address it defaults to?
It's whatever email address your consultant has on file is the email address.
I think the physical address is what they're questioning, like maybe their physical address in their mailing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
It defaults to the mailing address?
The shipping.
The shipping address, okay.
Yes.
Great. Here's a question regarding parties booked or held. Is there a way to get a total count instead of manually counting?
You mean for your team?
They didn't specify.
Okay.
I think because it shows per month, right? So for May it would show, and then for June it would show, and then adding those two together.
Okay, because the months are separated like that, I don't believe there's a method to do that at this time.
Okay. Okay, there was a question about, throughout the presentation, were we looking at the TRM through the desktop or through a mobile view? And that was a desktop view, correct, guys?
That's right.
So in a mobile view, it would look a little different.
That's right, just a little different. But you'll find the mobile view so easy to use. There's a swiping mechanism on it as well too, so it's really easy to use the mobile view as well too.
Great. Jen, this one might be for you. Somebody's asking, if you're coaching a team member in person, would you show her the detailed business graph?
You can, just so she understands how to read it, because a lot of times what I find is that people don't know how to read it, because that way you're showing them how to understand their business. So I would, if they want to see it, then yes, absolutely, because it's going to show their sales over the last 12 months. It's a rolling 12 months. And then it's going to show their new team members and their new team coordinators and what their group is and everything. So yeah, I definitely think that it would be beneficial for you to show them.
Awesome. And we did touch on this, but there was a question about it, adding somebody to your coaching list, guys. So it's as simple as just clicking that little star. So if they're not on your coaching list, your little star is just going to be a simple yellow outline. If you want to add them to your coaching list, click that star, and if it's filled in with that yellow and it's a complete yellow star, that means they are on your coaching list.
That's right. You'll have to find them in one of the other reports, usually the personal group or one of your extended downline reports, commissionable downline reports.
Okay, great. And let me just scroll through a couple more. Can you have more than one recruit in one household? I don't know who could answer that.
I think that's more for compliance, but
that's a compliance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we are rounding out on our time right now. We did have a couple extra questions that we were not able to get to, but we will take those offline and make sure we get answers to you guys. And again, the webinar will be posted on the consultant office under your training tab and under get to know your consultant office. And we appreciate everyone attending our webinar today. We really hope it was helpful. I know our IT department has worked really hard on building this fabulous TRM system. And so thank you, Jen, thank you, Noah and Richard, for being here today to talk from that viewpoint. And Jen, thanks for explaining the fabulous ways to really use the TRM with your Norwex business.
Our pleasure.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Jen,
you for having me.
All right, everyone, have a great day.
Bye.